Now, I would like to officially open this meeting, and I would like to welcome the Lord Lieutenant, Mrs. Crabtree, the Mayor of Walsall, Marco Longhi and Andreas, and all the Deputy Lieutenants. We have got about 150 people here, but the most important guests today are really the children that have come from the school. Because we know that when these guys are doing what we are trying to do, okay, we won't actually be here. So, special welcome to the children, head boys and head girls from various schools. So for me, it is all about moments in time, and today is a special moment for me, which will make a difference, I hope, to a lot of people, not only in this country, but also abroad. So with that introduction, may I please call upon our Lord Lieutenant, who is representing Her Majesty the Queen, and he is very kindly, with his right hand, come over today to talk to us and launch this project. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've not been to Walsall Hospital. That's probably a good thing, isn't it? I suspect, but I'm very happy to be here today. So when Rasheed's been talking to me about this, it's made me examine my own sort of environmental credentials. That until very recently, I've been on the back of the environmental bus, or certainly near the back, if not on the back seat. And then along comes Rasheed. If ever there was someone who was the epitome of that phrase, give a job to a busy man, it would be my Deputy Lieutenant, Professor Rasheed. And so now, I've got my props here with my beautiful assistant here.
You're very kind.
So these things here, now, these are a part of my, as much a part of my daily life as my wallet, my car keys, my mobile phone, and they go with me everywhere. Thanks to Rasheed, frankly. So it's a small thing, but I was on the back of the bus, and I'm now at least in the middle of the bus trying to get myself further up to the front, and I suspect all of you here have come with the same thing in mind. Being Rasheed, of course, he's already with another hat, not this one, Commonwealth Games hat. He's already secured a commitment from me that the Commonwealth Games will be planet-friendly, if not zero carbon. How on earth, personally, I'm going to deliver that, I don't know, but he'll be on to me every single day, as you all know, to make sure that I do. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is a terrific initiative, isn't it? And I'm really delighted to be here in Walsall today to lend my shoulder 100% to it and support it in every way I can. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the message is very clear, but all this happened after a rude awakening about the dangers of plastic that we have. And I believe now that we have an opportunity to have a new dawn. Let us do, as John said, small things, but do them well. Single use of plastic will not be eradicated in our lifetime, and perhaps indeed our children's lifetime. But all we have got to do is give it a good go and try our best. With the scourge of plastic, our lives and those of our future generations are at stake. So our default position has to be to ensure that everybody, not only in Walsall, but in this country and beyond, realizes this. In order to achieve this objective, we need to unequivocally commit ourselves, both individually and also collectively, and we have to build trusts and systems with help of technology, and learn and educate people and disseminate information, not only locally, but also regionally and beyond. Therefore, we need to tackle plastics head-on with a sense of purpose and resolve. This is our time. We need to seize it with urgency and not look back. As with everything in life, yes, and I should know because I've taken on lots of projects in life, sometimes you must hurt in order to know, fall in order to grow, lose in order to gain. But one thing is certain, we have done something today that cannot be undone, and there is no doubt that we as a team are much more informed and knowledgeable than we were a year ago. As human beings, we are inherently all good. We need to have a prophetic spirit to eliminate the shadow of plastic. educate ourselves, which I think is so important, and also our children, so that they can educate their parents, because we all want the same thing. In short, we have to think and reflect on our own behavior. In fact, we should become global citizens. WASUP should become Wolverhampton against single plastic. It should become West Midlands against single plastic. It should become Wales against single plastic. And why not world against single plastic? It can be done. But we have to start somewhere, and we have to have local champions that do something bottoms up rather than a top-down approach, which is what we are trying to do today. And I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for this huge support that I've received from many of you. So all this really is not about showing off that we've done our bit, but it's something far greater than the trappings of privilege that we enjoy today ourselves, which puts us in a position to be able to do something when most in the world can't. This is something that we can do, and others won't or are not in a position to do. It is completely about embracing a common humanity of all the world's citizens. We build a world where we are doing something for that someone who happen to be our future children. We will never know what impact we've had globally, but we do know that we did all this because we had the courage to step up when we realized the dangers of plastic. So our objectives are very, very simple, and is to support the national program and reaching everybody all over, not only this borough, but also other boroughs is crucial as well. But more important than anything else to me over the last year has been the education. I was 0, but now I think my learning curve has been not exponential, it's actually been vertical. Something interesting has happened in the last 4 weeks, and that is crisps. 8 million packets a day of crisps a day are produced by walkers. Those all find their way into the ocean eventually. And walkers are working with a company called TerraCycle, and TerraCycle from January this year can actually process, recycle this plastic. Now the interesting thing for schools and all organizations is that we have a box from TerraCycle. They'll send it to us free. 400 packets, you can send them back free to TerraCycle. So it's a win-win situation. So crisp packets is something we can concentrate on, because that's a big scourge. And what I think we should do, perhaps Walsall Council should do, is work with schools, and we can have a huge impact on what we are doing. So when the stuff reaches the oceans, the plastic eventually is broken down into microplastic. And microplastic is anything that's 5 millimeters or less. And it is this that actually is eaten by the animals. It is this that is in microbeads. Microbeads also got plastics in it. And we won't realize that the stuff that ladies particularly use for cleansing, and we use toothpaste, that has got microbeads in it. So there's lots of things that we use that has got plastic in it. Walruses, they've eaten mussels, and mussels have eaten planktons. Planktons have eaten plastics. So in the end, it reaches certainly the animal food chain. And eventually, it will reach us. And that's where the problem is going to be. It's been shown in animals for sure that it affects the hormone production. Fish, okay, they may be intelligent in one way or the other, but sometimes they do mistake plastic for food, either as fish eggs or whatever. And they eat this, and not only might they die, but we have, as I've shown you in one of the pictures, you dissect a fish and you can sometimes get plastic out of it. Coral is so important to the ecology of oceans. Plastic damages coral. This is where the fish hide. So important in marine life. This is affected. Fish cannot be protected by their own predators. Interesting thing about plastic is that a lot of it actually floats, and wherever birds are flying, that's where plastic will be, because birds love to go down and pick up what they think is fish. So two things are happening here. The birds themselves pick up this plastic, and sometimes they're so heavy they cannot take off. It's as simple as that. So they can die. The second thing is they are getting this marine life for their chicks out there. So they come to pick up this plastic, this fish, so they think, but instead they take plastic back home to the chicks. And when they regurgitate this, the chicks obviously cannot eat it, and the chicks die. And we're talking about millions of birds dying because of the fact that this plastic that we have thrown is floating and birds have picked it up. Now you'll be surprised, and this is just my research, okay, that bottled water we're talking about, 93% of it has got microplastic in it. Last year, a small study showed that there was microplastic in human excretion. So we know we are close to a disaster if there's going to be one. Okay? These toxic chemicals are going to get into our body, into our blood, into our tissues. Okay? And I know as a medic what they can do to you. Potentially, they can cause cancers, birth defects, all the bits that I've mentioned there. If you're buying a bottle that you've shown us, Lord Lieutenant, it should say BPA free. BPA to me was British Paediatrics Association, that's right. But BPA is biphenyl A, which is a toxic substance. So facts about plastic. 50% of what's in the ocean is actually single-use plastic. You can say 1 million a day bottles, 1 million a day cups into the ocean. Sadly, only 11% is recycled around the world. By 2050, there'll be more weight by weight plastic in the ocean as there will be fish. Just a brief sort of summary of these are the recyclable items. Interestingly, ink cartridges. Envelopes with plastic windows. I used to ask myself, shall I actually remove this and put it separately to the actual paper bit? Envelopes with plastic windows, recyclable. Okay? And those are the other items that I've told you. Okay. Interestingly, you can save a fir tree by just getting all your newspapers in a stack. Corrugated cardboard apparently has got a high value when you sell it for recycling. Interestingly, my education now tells me anything that's greased up, anything that's contaminated, and you put it in a recycle is not going to be recycled. So we actually clean things up. In this set of items, sellotape sticks out to me as being not recyclable. The interesting thing is we've just had Christmas, and we might have thought we were doing a good thing by having this paper being put into recycle. If it's got sellotape in it, not recyclable. It's contaminated already. We've got 20 sectors of the community here. We talk about hotels, we talk about South Water Trust, we talk about hospitals. So we've got 20 sectors and no less than 15 CEOs. So we have got some clout in this room to be able to do something. So together we can, and I just hope that this afternoon, it's been a long afternoon, I know, but I think for me, it's been a culmination of a lot of hard work from a lot of guys that I work with. So I can't thank you all enough for two things. First of all, working with me, and secondly, having come here today. Some may say what we are doing is a drop in the ocean. And I've heard one or two people say this to me, and I agree. Yes, that drop is in the ocean. But for that fish, that is the ocean. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.